Ladies and gentlemen, football faithful from the concrete canyons of Manhattan to the swamps of Jersey, strap in tight, because if you're repping Big Blue, last night's gut trencher is going to leave you pacing the room like a caged lion, or maybe cracking open an extra cold one to numb the sting. Picture this. The humid haze of the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, where the Saints Who Dat Nation turns a joint into a cauldron of chaos, and your New York Giants? They marching with hope in their hearts. Only to watch it evaporate in a brutal 26-14 collapse that fans back home hurling remotes at the TV. Yeah, you got it. Another Sunday slaughter, this time at the hands of those black and gold buzzards from the Bayou, dropping the G-Men to a dismal 1-4 on the 2025 slate. But here's the whisper that's rattling the rafters louder than a Broadway showstopper. Insiders are leaking like a sieve that head coach Brian Daboll's chair isn't just creaking, it's splintering under the heat, with scuttlebutt exploding about a mid-season mutiny that could boot the bold strategist out before the leaves even turn in Central Park. Is this the death knell for Daboll's dream, or just the fuel for a fiery Giants resurgence? Hang with me, folks, because we're peeling back the layers on this Louisiana lament, the heartbreak, the hot seat, and a horizon for redemption. This is your New York Giants Pulse Pounder. Let's dive in. Let's hit rewind on that steamy Superdome showdown first. Because if you tuned out after the first quarter fireworks, you missed the Giants' golden goose turning into a lead balloon faster than you can say, turnover curse. It was week 5 bedlam under those retractable roofs. The air thick as gumbo. Saints fans chanting like it's Mardi Gras on steroids, while our boys in blue hit the field with that underdog swagger we've loved since the Polo Grounds days. The Giants struck first like lightning over the Hudson, rookie phenom quarterback Jackson Dart. That Ole Miss gunslinger we scooped up in the first round, all arm and audacity. Scrambling for 12 yards to cap the opening drive, then threading a dime of 15-yard touchdown strike to Tite and Theo Johnson on 3rd and 8. What a grab. Johnson's one-handed snag had the traveling faithful erupting, putting Big Blue up 7-0 early. You felt the vibe, didn't you? That electric pulse. The kind that echoed Eli Manning's ice vein magic in those Super Bowl upsets, where underdogs bite back hardest. Behold the phone. Football fates. Why do y'all love the plot twist? The Saints, resurrected under rookie head man Kellen Moore. You know, the ex-Cowboys was kid with the clipboard sharper than a fleur-de-lis. Roared back with venom, their signal caller. Spencer Rattler, that cocky Arizona Allen with the quick flick and quicker feet, dissected our secondary like it was Ada Fee. And oh boy, the defense, anchored by vets like Cameron Jordan. The ageless edge rusher who's been terrorizing QBs since Obama was in office. They swarmed like gators in the bayou. Dart took 3 sacks. But the Real Killers? Turnovers that'd make a slot machine blush. Midway through the second, wide out Darius Slayton, our reliable route runner from 19, still grinding after all these years, coughed up a fumble at the Saints' 35, scooped by safety Jonas Sanker and flipped into field position gold. Blake Group nails a chip shot, and poof, Saints lead 10-7. Then the dagger. Rattler loft an 87-yard bomb to speedster Rashid Shaheed, who jets untouched for 6, turning a nothing play into nightmare fuel. By halftime, it's 16-14 New Orleans, and you're sensing the swamp swallowing us whole. The second half, a defensive grind where our front four, shout out to Dexter Lawrence, the 340-pound Clemson Colossus, who's our nose tackle North Star, racked up 2 sacks and a forced fumble return 86 yards for a pick 6 by safety Jordan Howden. But it wasn't enough. Another dart INT on a tip pass to Wan'Dale Robinson, and the Saints sought the wound with a late field goal. Final, Saints 26, Giants 14. Oof. Another L, our 4th and 5, and suddenly that playoff polka feels like a tango with no partner. Now, let's crank up the rumor radar, because this is where the post-game pandemonium turns into front office frenzy, and every Giants fan from the Bronx to Buffalo is glued to their feeds. Word slithering out of the team hotel in the French Quarter, and trust me, these NOLA nights breed loose lips, is that GM Joe Schoen's patience snapped like a broken beignet. Anonymous suits in the war room, huddled over iPads till the wee hours, are pointing fingers square at Daboll's dice roll decisions. That aggressive 4th down goal in the 3rd quarter, down by 3 deep in Saints territory, balls as a Bourbon Street brawl. But when it flops, it leaves you de-exposed like a tourist in flip-flops. One exec, spilling to a podcaster over crawfish etouffee, allegedly grumbled. Talent's there, but the fire's flickering out. We're not rebuilding, we're reloading, and changes hit yesterday. Smoke or inferno. This ain't idle chatter. Echoes of last season's 6-11 thud had similar static, but shown double down then. Now, with Amara's, Wait, the Tish clan, those unflappable owners who steered the ship through storms since 25, demanding divisional dirt or bust, the vibes volcanic. Dable, the Alabama alum who alchemized a 4, the 13 fiasco into 22 playoff promise with that wildcard wizardry. He's got the Belichick blueprint in his veins, turning scraps into studs. But results rule the realm, and right now, they're tasting like overcooked gumbo, bland and bitter. Fans are frothing. X is ablaze with hashtag FireDable trending higher than a jazz solo, one diehard tweeting. Enough of the gambles, give us grit. Pulling back the curtain a bit. Cause to grasp this Gulf Coast gut punch, you gotta channel the Giants' gritty gospel. The franchise that's as tough as a Times Square hot dog, born in 1925 at the Polo Grounds, rubbing elbows with Babe Ruth's ghost before Yankee Stadium spotlights in the 50s. They're the everyman's empire. The 86 juggernaut with Phil Simms laser beaming to a blitzing Lawrence Taylor. LT, the UNC unicorn who redefined loose cannon, once quipping, "I'm a human sledgehammer," while sacking QBs into next week for that Super Bowl stomp. Or rewind to the Eli epic. Big Brother Peyton's shadow, but little Manning? He slayed dragons, torching the 07 Pats and 11 pack for rings that rain confetti on Broadway. Those New York helmets under the lights? Iconic as the statue's torch. And the NFC East? It's the league's gladiator pit, Eagles swooping in with Philly's boo happy horde. Cowboys prancing as America's darlings, but our eternal thorns. We're 5-9 against them since 15. Even the skins-turned Commanders stir the pot. Stats sting. Giants own a 28-24 edge over the Saints all time, but yesterday's flop marks our third straight skid south of the Mason-Dixon. In the Dome, 4-8 lifetime, haunted house vibes. Drilling into the debris. Let's spotlight the stars and stumblers, the pulse of this big, easy blues. Jackson Dart, our fresh-faced franchise hope, went 18 for 32, 212 yards, 2 TDs. But that crippling INT and lost fumble? Ghost of Daniel Jones turnover tango, who we benched after last year's limbo. Post-game, Dart's locker room candor cut deep. We came to fight, but those mistakes? On me. This team's got heart, we'll claw back. Fire in the kid's eyes, the sort that screams future Eli. Run game? Cam Skatabo, that Arizona State bruiser we nabbed in round 3. Pounded 14 carries for 62 yards, but without Barkley's boom. Traded to the Birds last offseason. It's grind over glory. 98 total rushing to Saints 132. Receiving core? Theo Johnson's TD snag was poetry. But Slayton's fumble fiasco and Robinson's drop slant? Ouch! Combined for 89 yards, while Shaheed's 114-yard explosion laughed last. Defensively, Kayvon Thibodeau, our 22-edge hawk with the sack celebration swagger, notched a strip but couldn't corral Rattler, 225 yards, 1 TD. Injuries nipping. Inside backer Swayze Bozeman's ankle tweak sidelines him a week. DB Drew Phillips limped off in Q3. Depth chart drama. Tactically, Dable mixed RPOs like a jazz riff, but more St. Sniffem converting 6 of 11 thirds to our 4 of 12. Yards? Giants 298 total to 341. Turnovers 3-1. It's the margins murdering us, folks. The unforced errors stacking like Mardi Gras beads gone wrong. To amp this autopsy, let's feign a fireside chat with our make-believe maven. Bayou Buzz Landry, ex-Giant scout turned SiriusXM sage. Dave was a tactician's tactician. Recall his 22 fake punt that flipped the skins? Genius. But last night, clock mismanagement with 1:45 left, no huddle down 12? Recipe for regret. If the X falls, and my gut says week 7, splash on Vrabel, that Titan turned trailblazer with the sideline snarl to rally these pups. Or poached by an Iamy from KC's tree for offensive zip. Nailed it, Buzz, and syncing with real chatter from NFL Network's Rich Eisen this AM, who posted, Giants youth is gold, but trust in the tower's tarnished. Daboll's on thin ice. Fan frenzy? At NYGFanatic42 vented on X. Daboll's gambles got us 1-4. Fire him before Philly feasts Thursday. Raw, real. The Jets' light jab across the river hurts. But hey, at least we're not tanking for Trevor Lawrence 2.0. This tumble taps into timeline tremors, but sparks silver linings too. Flash to 17. 3-13 nosedive. McAdoo midseason moonwalk. Birthing the Gilman glow up to Shermer steady. Or 0-4's facile farewell after 4-12, ushering Coughlin's 0-7 crown. At 1-4, we echo 20 sluggish start, 6-10 finish. But the slate's stacked. Thursday night tango with the Eagles. Revenge for that opener? Then Commander.